Hello and welcome back to the Stronghold. It's that time again. It's midweek, and I want you to play some Magic so that you can win 2 free rare or better ICRs. This week's midweek Magic is Historic Pauper, and you would think with a name like Pauper, this would be a pretty budget-friendly event. I mean, hey, we only use commons. That's pretty budget-friendly. Except that also means that you only get to play with about 1/3 of the cards that you collected, and you're going to be going up against folks in the historic format where you probably haven't had much chance to collect anything, much less any sort of put together cognizant deck. So, in a way, it's a little bit like taking a knife to a gunfight. But that's okay, guys. Stay tuned. We've got a plan, and we're going to get through this together. But before we get into all that, my crack research team has recently pointed out that we are the only channel doing consistent and timely midweek Magic content. And by crack team, of course, I mean one comment from someone who had nothing at all to do with this monkey image. So be sure to subscribe right here at the Planeswalker Stronghold for all of your future midweek Magic needs, because we will be bringing you a deck list or strategy every single week. Now, what were we talking about this week? Oh, yeah, right. So, like I said, is Historic Pauper can be a little bit like bringing a knife to a gunfight, because anybody who's pretty solidly entrenched into Historic at this point is going to have a lot more cards than any new player is going to have. So what I've got for you at this point is a deck that is mostly built around not just commons, but standard commons. Let's take a look here. And the nice thing about this is the deck is also mostly built as a monocolored deck. We are splashing blue. As you can see, this is a zombie deck. Just very basic aggro with some splashes here and there for removal. We are running a total of 10 blue sources. That is for 4 copies of Wretched Throng, which is a very good source of card advantage for us, as well as Falcon Abomination, which not only just got a boost for Alchemy/Historic, but is another form of card advantage through the use of a Decay Zombie. The only historic card that I am running in this particular deck is Faceless Agent, and the version that I have here is running all 4 copies. Obviously, if you only have the 1 copy from the wild card, there is nothing wrong with that. Just to fill in some of your other things here, like maybe another Scavenger or some additional cards here at the upper end. All in all, this makes for a pretty solid deck in a Pauper environment. We do have Crawl from the Cellar to give us a little bit of recursion out of the graveyard. I think everybody is familiar with the action economy of Shambling Ghast and why that's good. We talked about Wretched Throng. Hobbling Zombie, of course, it just got another boost for Alchemy, as did Sepulchral Ghoul. I'm only running 2 copies of the Ghoul here because I don't necessarily want multiple of these out, wanting me to sacrifice multiple creatures each turn. That ends up being a losing equation. One of our great offensive weapons here is actually Ghastly Gloom Hunter. Its combination of flying and lifelink and that late game kicker option makes it a very serious force that your opponent is going to have to deal with. And in a Pauper environment, that becomes more and more difficult. As part of our removal package and an early blocker, Priest of the Haunted Edge is the main reason we are running the snow package here, because this lets us take out one of their big bomb creatures, and it also gets in the way as far as a nice turn 2 blocker that can easily block their 3-drop in most cases. One of our interesting combination cards here is Siege Zombie, allowing us to tap 3 untapped creatures you control. Each opponent loses 1 life. So that is a great way to use these Decay Zombie tokens, so you can get multiple turns worth of use out of them. They're no good as blockers, and once you attack with them, you're going to lose them at end of turn. So keep them around and let them build up for a little while, and use Siege Zombie to whittle down your opponent's life total, so that when you do Alpha Strike with all those Decay Zombies, you're able to close out the game. In the meantime, things like the Gloom Hunter or the Abomination allow you to fly in over the more common ground pounders in Pauper and get in some nice chip damage here and there. Faceless Agent, of course, is going to tutor you up a zombie, which is another nice form of card advantage. The Scavenger is a nice little drain effect, as well as having a lot of board presence. It's only a 2/3 for 4 mana, but its inclusion of Death Touch and that 4-point life swing chip damage is very substantial. I'm only running 2 of those because once you have 1 Death Touch creature out on the board, it pretty much is the same effect as having multiples. It's going to discourage your opponent from swinging in against you. The Horde is just all about board presence. It's 5 mana for a 3/4, but it gives you 2 2/2 black zombie creature tokens with Decay. And remember, you don't have to swing with those Decay zombies right away. Use things like your Siege Zombie to chip away at your opponent until that Alpha Strike becomes a good, viable option. The Behemoth, on the other hand, with its massive body and menace, is really solid. That is going to let you clear out some blockers there. So when you are ready to Alpha Strike with all those Decay Zombies, you have a much more open path and will be able to get in for more of that Decay damage. The mana base, of course, we did talk about going snow here, and we are snow all the way across the board. A total of 10 blue sources, and everything else is swamps. So there's a nice, quick, simple rundown of the deck. Try and remember, you don't have to run all 4 copies of the Faceless Agent here, but if you have them, there's no reason not to. These kind of tribal decks is really where this card shines very nicely.
What's that? You didn't catch all that? Well, Matt would like you to know that any deck list applicable to this video can be found down in the doobly-doo. And hey, let's not forget, the whole reason to participate in these totally free midweek Magic events is the prize support is awesome. You get a rare for your first and second win, and then you get a random cosmetic for your third. How awesome is that? Alright, so with all that having been said, don't forget, smash the like button like Hulk would. And of course, comment and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And one last thing, myself, I'm coming to you from America, and I have noticed that about 1/3 of my viewership is coming from the US, and about 1/3 is coming from various countries. And there's about 1/3 of my viewership that is just getting lumped into other. So to let me know you got to the end of the video, throw me a comment down in there and let me know where you are watching from.